It is so vitally important to me for kids to connect learning about Jesus, learning about God with joy, with laughter.
Kids in this age group, the preteen age, they learn more by asking questions and less by here's the answer, here's the answer, here's the answer.
What are you most excited for kids and leaders to experience overall, in general, for the refresh of the So&So Show?
I think Kellen. I'm really excited about him being at the desk board because I think we get to see even more of who he is.
His
That's right.
playfulness, he's not serious all the time. He doesn't always have the answers like Kellen of the past does.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him get to play some.
Hey, I'm Ashley, and we are on the new set for the So&So Show. Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard, the So&So Show is getting an exciting refresh, and we're calling it So&So 2.0. And I'm here with two men that I admire, I respect. They make me laugh, they make me think, they're amazing. The one and only, or two only, Brandon Odell and John Williams.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm John. That's Brandon.
Yeah, thanks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, I've had the privilege of working with you all for a very short amount of time, and every time I'm around you all, it feels like a master class in acting and humor and comedy and life in general. But I want the people to get to know you all a little bit better too. So tell us, how did your journey begin to intersect your training in the arts with your love for kids ministry?
Oh, well, I mean, for me, it was, I didn't see it coming. Like, I was just training to be an actor and loved performing, loved theater and things like that. And growing up, I didn't have a real place in the church to kind of utilize that skill set until I ran across a church that was creating this program for families. And they were looking for trained actors. And I was like, oh, awesome, this is a cool time. And that was 27 years ago.
Wow.
And so haven't stopped since. And it's always surprising to me that I get to do what I do, but it's been incredibly life-giving.
Awesome.
Yeah, from after college, I was writing stuff for my church to do for little drama skits in church, and then I was writing stuff for camps to do, and then I was sitting next to a friend from college at church, and he looked at me and said, "You would be good for a show we're doing called Kid Stuff." This was at North Point Community Church. And so he sent my information to the director, and they called me to audition. And then I started acting for that show, and then I started writing my own stuff for the show. And then they said, you should do this for a living. So I started writing for Orange.
That's amazing. All right, so how did the So&So Show begin? What was its origin?
Okay, before the So&So Show,
Yeah.
we were doing another program. It was called Studio 252, or Feature Presentation.
Feature
It had
Presentation.
multiple names.
Yeah.
But it was basically Saturday Night Live for churches. We did sketch comedy.
Yeah, original
telling
sketches
Bible
like for
stories.
every Bible story. There wasn't like a set thing that we were doing.
So
Everyone
every
was
week.
different.
And then we did that for 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just, we were just like, it's time to start over. It's time to try something new, because 10 years is a long time to do the same thing. So we looked at what are the kids watching nowadays, what are they engaged by, and it all came back to YouTube and YouTube style videos. So we started watching a bunch of different YouTube shows, and we came up with this idea to do a show with that. And to be honest with you, I wrote the first script, and John and I put John and I in there as placeholders. I didn't know we were actually going to be that.
Yeah, we thought like it was a new era kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought
know that.
I'll just write us in just so that the people who are reading it, they'll like get a vision. But they liked us in the reading. We kept the gig for so long. And then it didn't have a title, so for the title I put in a placeholder. I put in the So&So Show, and then we'll come up with a title later. And
it just stuck. Yeah, just a couple of so-and-sos.
We didn't have time for a creative meeting, so...
I love it. So to all aspiring actors, just write the script, just put your name there as a placeholder, and
that is absolutely
there. You go.
Yeah. Don't get hung up on the little things. Just write what you know, and then placeholder all the other things. You never know what magic will happen out of it.
Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of writing, take us into the writer's room.
Oh, yeah.
What level of thoughtfulness and creativity does it take to build this show?
Well, I think there's like two things. Like the amount of, I mean, literally, I won't say arguing, but the amount of what's the word? What's the word where you are? What's the word? I'm a writer, by the way.
Keep going.
Yeah. Anyways, when you're sitting in the room, you're trying to wordsmith and teach kids about Jesus, and we argue and nitpick over every single little word when we're talking about collaborate. Thank you. We collaborate. Thank you. And we do that in order to make it clear.
Can we add a sound effect later?
Yes.
Whenever I push a
Cue
button.
it.
Yes. But see, so it's very intense and very focused. But then with the creative side of it, you have to sort of throw away the rules. You have to be free to just explore things, throw things against the wall, see what sticks, and see what makes you laugh. If it's making you laugh or making you excited, or you instantly see it when you're throwing those ideas out, then you're like, I'm ready to write this.
Yeah.
There's two different sides of the process.
I've always said that John and I have two different styles of comedy writing.
Totally.
He's a comedy machine gun, in which case that if you say we need to come up with an idea for this, he will have 1,000 ideas, and 32 of them will be good.
It's 100% true.
And
100% true.
I'm more of a comedy sniper.
Yeah.
So that I can hear all the ideas and be like, no, that's the one right there. That's boom, that's it. So,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the dynamics I enjoy watching you all play the most, is that you get to be free and zany, and then you kind of just know how to like nip it in the joke. It just is a really nice blend.
Yeah.
It's one thing I really appreciate. And I've had the opportunity to be not in the writer's room with you all, but at table read.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't know this, like you may see them and they're playing and they're fun, but they take the writing so serious. And going back to what you're saying, like mulling over, is this theologically sound? All of the things that you have to think through biblically, and then to make the Bible funny is, mad props and respect.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a joy. I mean, it's a joy to be able to do that, and it's a joy. I'm running out of words.
Collaborate.
It's collaborate.
It's collaborate. Boom. All right, well, speaking of humor, why do you all think that humor and fun and even entertainment should be not just considered in kids' ministry, but valued? And how much do you think we should invest in its quality for kids?
First of all, I always have a bone to pick when somebody's like, oh, it's just entertainment. You learn from entertainment.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why you don't want your kids to watch certain entertainment, because they will learn something.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely learn through something being entertaining. And I think humor, especially in this day and age, that when you can find yourself laughing, it helps you relax, it helps you find joy, and it is so vitally important to me for kids to connect learning about Jesus, learning about God, with joy, with laughter, with smiles, with, I know for me as a kid, I don't remember the stuff where I was thinking very seriously and I was getting handed information. I remember the times where I was laughing and I was having the best time of my life. I can recall those stories and the things I learned doing them, during them. So that's why I think humor is so incredibly important.
I think it helps one engage. It helps you develop relationship also when you're laughing along with someone.
Yes.
And then once you're engaged and once you've built that relationship, you can go serious, and you can hit them with the serious points and the knowledge points that wouldn't work as well if you just started out with, here's the knowledge you need to know today. Do it. You know?
Yeah.
For sure. Right. So is there a secret to making kids laugh?
Poop.
No, that's us.
Oh, sorry.
That's making us laugh. Yeah, we actually stay away from that kind of humor in our scripts. Yeah, we actually stay away from that. No, I think the secret is, first of all, I mean, if it makes me laugh, I just naturally have the sentimentality of a preteen. So if it's making me laugh, I'm pretty sure I think it's going to make that kid laugh.
It's a good question, because when we started writing this show, I think it's been 9 years ago.
Yeah.
humor was a little different.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
changes over time. We
Yeah.
had COVID happen, and a lot of people's sense of humor changes. If you go and watch the language of preteens nowadays, they're using words that I've never heard of, you know,
Yeah. For
you
sure.
know, bet. So I don't know
I don't gamble.
skibbity, what that means. But anyway, skibbity riz toilet something.
I don't know either. Yeah,
So, but 6, 7 is another thing. And by the time you watch this video, those things could be super old.
For sure.
yeah, I know.
But the secret is to be real, I think, is to be authentic.
yes.
If they see that we are making one another laugh, then they're going to say, oh, wow, that is funny. I
Yeah.
think you're right.
And we genuinely make each other laugh. That isn't an act. There's so much footage on the floor where we can't keep it together because we're laughing. And I love the idea of the genuineness. Like this generation coming up too, they can smell fakeness.
Yeah.
They
Hands
can
down.
smell a sheen of properness and a lack of better words, a fakeness.
Yeah.
They can smell it. So when they know
Also
that we're
poop.
They can smell.
so
we can
when they
smell.
know that we're genuinely having fun, they can tell, and I think it invites them to genuinely have fun with us.
I love that you said that because it's so rare that adults play and don't take themselves serious around kids. And I think other kids, men, leaders have that in common with you guys. It's like you can't take yourself serious in kids ministry.
Yes.
And so, okay, that's making them laugh. Do you have a secret to making kids think?
Questions. I think for me, what I've loved about the So&So Show was we introduced this idea of the main question, the question of the day,
Yeah.
right? And I think once you give them permission to think on their own, to own it themselves, as opposed to just serving everything to them and saying, just swallow this.
Yes.
If you are saying, oh, okay, this is an amazing story. Look what Jesus did. Look what God is doing. Look what the Holy Spirit did, right? But what do you think? When you invite them to think and allow them to think and don't correct them immediately when you think they're thinking something that they shouldn't think. Well, that's a lot of times you're saying think.
Thinking.
It lets them own it.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, I'm going to think about this more.
There was a lot of research done on the product, and we didn't do any of that research, but we were told the results. And it was like
We got the research, yes.
Kids in this age group, the preteen age, they learn more by asking questions and less by here's the answer, here's the answer, here's the answer. Let them think for themselves, and so I think that's a great way to get them to think.
Well,
Absolutely.
and at this age too, like this is where they're starting to make their faith their own. And this is where they're already going to have questions.
Wow.
So if we as the church invite them to say, hey, that's cool. Questions are great. It'll help you keep going towards God. Yeah.
I love that because some may assume that it's when they're already in middle and high school, but it starts
for sure.
even.
Oh, I think it's starting younger and younger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, in that lane, is there a secret to helping and inspiring kids to believe in Jesus?
To me, the story of Jesus kind of speaks for itself. If we tell that with authenticity, then that's going to inspire it. And I think that's where we go wrong a lot of the times, because but the Christians in general go wrong, is that we start with, here's what's wrong with you, now here's how we can fix it.
Yeah.
But instead, if we just plant the story of Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you for who you are, you were made in the image of God, and then there's like, the kids are drawn in. They're like, I want to know more about Jesus. I want to know more about his stories and what he can do and what he says. So.
It's really good.
Yeah, I reiterate that, starting with the love of Christ, as opposed to, get it together.
Yeah.
I mean, for me as an adult, that is what inspires me, excites me, draws me into wonder, draws me into a constantly pursuing Christ, is remembering the gobsmacking amount of love.
Yeah.
And that is so inviting. And so I get emotional thinking
It's
about
okay.
it. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional. Thank you. Poop. Thank you.
Speaking of that, it makes me think about the impact that this show has already had. Sometimes you guys have gotten invited to travel all around the country to make these appearances. You've made videos for kids. Kids have made things for you.
Oh, yes.
And I want to know, how does the impact of, what has been the impact of the show that you know of, and how that has affected kids that you've heard of, and how does that make you feel as the show creators?
Actually, you're going to make me cry. This is like a Barbara Walters
Is this the time?
interview. Yeah.
Where's our tissue box?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a used tissue.
It should be used tissue. Again, you know, I'm just a writer actor, and so and love to create and love to be funny. And when we hear stories about you know, kids coming to faith and discovering a Jesus that loves them, it's I don't know how to. It's really hard for me to process.
Yeah.
Because I just sit there and go, we're just having some fun and sharing some truth, and you send it out there and you don't know what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do get those stories back and you realize it's helping leaders interact with their kids, but also directly impacting children, it's mind-blowing. I don't really know what to do with it.
There were times John and I have made public appearances in front of children, and it is
Terrifying?
it is like it is like we're dude perfect.
I know.
And they just love it. They want to touch our hand. They want to you know, when Kellen is there, it's like we want to see how tall he is in real life. It's
Yeah.
really humbling. It's amazing.
Super humbling.
I don't know that he or I realize the impact we have had, because we've only met a fraction
Yeah.
of the kids who have watched the show, and we've heard from leaders say that their kids love it and all. But I'm hoping someday that, you know, when we're 100 years old, that we'll still have people coming up to us and saying, you know, I remember what you did when I was a kid and you helped me. So I'm hoping that what we did or what we're doing matters.
Yeah. Well, and also just giving up that portion of it where you're like, yeah, I hope we're constantly inviting God. I mean, we're obviously inviting God into it. I mean, ultimately, it's God who is making the change and the difference in these children's lives. But to be that kind of conduit, or to be able to just be a part of that, is just so humbling. So,
And have pioneered it, you know. You guys have forged a way for creatives to function in ministry that I just have never seen before.
wow, that's very humbling too.
And kept the spirit of love and humility, and like it never really belonged to you, but just the dedication. It really means a lot to, not just, I know, kids, but to me too as well.
Thank you.
So now I want to talk about Kellen, the third star of this show.
I don't know. I don't know if we should. I mean, that guy.
Kellen, if you guys are famous, Kellen is like a mega superstar.
He is, man.
Like, what makes Kellen so special, and why are you guys excited for kids to see more of him in the Refresh?
When we're in a place where there are a lot of people who watch the show and Kellen is there, he requires handlers, like people
Yeah,
to
it's
walk
true.
with him, so he does not get bombarded. So people would want to take his picture or make videos, and Kellen would make every single one, and he would never do anything else. But so he needs handlers to say, no, not right now, not right.
Yeah.
So
Kellen, what you see is who Kellen is.
Truly.
I mean, again, it goes back to that level of authenticity.
Yeah.
He loves Jesus. He loves God, and he loves ministering to kids.
Yeah.
yes, and he's very tall.
Yes, he is very tall.
It's very important.
And
You don't
it's-
necessarily know that watching the
Yeah,
show.
but also, I'm really excited about him being at the desk more.
And I think he is too.
Because absolutely. Because I think we get to see even more of who he is.
His
That's right.
playfulness, you know,
Oh, gosh.
he's not serious all the time. He
No.
doesn't always have the answers
No.
like Kellen of the past does.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
nice to see him get to play some.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What are you most excited for kids and leaders to experience overall, in general, for the Refresh of the So&So Show?
I think Kellen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we just answered it. I think highlighting Kellen more and just his heart and his sense of humor and his authenticity. That's. Yeah. I mean, I love being on set with Kellen.
I think I'm excited. We're updating it a bit because the way kids view entertainment nowadays, a lot of quick jumps and stuff like that. So we're adding a little bit more of that in the body of the script. The Bible stories will still be very similar to the way we've been telling them, but we'll have characters. So it's like a talking cow. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. There's some other characters that are going to be on the show to interrupt the proceedings, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, so now there's a new season of your lives that you're entering.
Yes.
And you're both entrusting the show that you created to other creatives. And I just want to know, what would you say to other leaders as we're all aging up and getting wiser and this new generation just keeps coming? What would you say to other leaders about the power of legacy and mentorship and the passing of the torch?
I don't know how to answer that question, but I will answer similar. This is, if you create something, it's very easy to do this with it, you know, to be like, this is mine, I made this, and I want it only to be mine, and I want all the decisions to go through me. But when you're a Jesus follower and when you're a truster of your Heavenly Father, you got to do a lot more of this.
Yep.
So I feel like that we're in a season right now of just letting go and trusting that God is going to take this where He wants it to be, and for me to just rest in that.
Yeah.
Right. Two things. I think, if you're supposed to disciple people, I think that's also vocationally. And I think in order to do that, you should be trying to figure out how to replace yourself. And that seems scary to a lot of people, and it can feel scary. But I feel like you said, when you're holding on to that thing, then that thing becomes your focus, not what God is doing through it, right? And then also, I said this recently. I said I feel like the So&So Show was our baby, and it just turned 18. And is about to go to college. And anybody with an 18-year-old knows that once they go off to college, it's a new chapter. And so I feel like, and there's other people speaking into their life, hopefully, in a positive way. And so I kind of feel like So&So Show 2.0 is so-and-so has now gone off to college and has new people speaking into it. Yeah.
But the legacy is set. And the imprint is there for sure. What is the most bizarre, zaniest, silliest, even most expensive?
Expensive.
In terms of time, in terms of building, you guys have done some wild things on the So&So Show. What's been your favorite or the most bizarre? Share a couple of them.
First of all, I just want to apologize to one person, Michelle, who was our props master for 10 years, and I'm sorry. We made you do so many crazy things, but without you, nothing would have happened. I think my favorite one was how many gallons was that pool?
The pool? I don't know when we actually filled it with water.
We brought an inflatable pool that
No, it wasn't inflatable. It was one of those hard plastic.
Oh, right. It was like 200 gallons.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Of what?
Water.
Of water.
Oh, okay.
But so that we could do laps. And so in it, I was doing laps in this pool, and it was literally just jumping back and forth. Waves of water were flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous, absurdist, silly, that I love that kind of stuff.
That was the one thing.
Funny.
Whenever we were in a creative room, we would come up with an idea and we would write it, and I would send it to my producer, and they'd be like, "Okay, we'll figure it out." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's great."
Yeah.
So I think the most expensive thing we did was we had one single joke for the cold open.
I know what you're gonna say.
The cold open was like someone was at an eye doctor visit, and the eye doctor's going, "Number one or number two? Number one or number two? Number one, number two," and then it cuts to someone and he's holding up a big number one or a big number two.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we had the writer wrote he wanted a Phoropter, which is one of those machines at an eye doctor's. So the the producer and the prop master took that seriously, so we hired someone to build a pro raptor out of paper mache, a faux raptor out of paper mache.
Yeah.
It cost like $200 or $300
Yeah,
for
and
this single joke.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, we should be clearer next time that we don't want to spend that kind of money on literally a 5-second joke.
Yeah.
So that was one time we were like,
So
what?
that stayed in the studio until the very end.
But you've swam in mashed potatoes.
That was true.
Heard about
Pudding.
Yeah, pudding. We've swum it. We've done planks and pudding. We've done. We actually did an episode in a car one time.
That's
where
true.
we actually
Wow.
set up digital screens, so it looks like we were in a car.
Oh my
I mean, it was so much fun.
We did live Candy Crush, so we would put sweets on a
Yes.
stump and I would
Yes.
smash them like Gallagher.
Okay, so there's this store that I buy my milk from, and but the way the milk carton is shaped, I always have a hard time opening the carton, and it always scrapes my knuckles, and I can't like literally twist it open. So I came up with this idea one time of where I was like, well, what if we did a whole cold open where I can't open the milk carton, and then I just give up and I jab it with a pencil and just from the side and just squeeze the thing and spray it in my mouth. And so we were like, all right, great. Well, it was a one take thing because we only
Yeah.
had one change of clothes that day, and so we had to plan it, and so we hadn't practiced it. I hadn't rehearsed it, and so we did the bit where I'm trying to take the lid off, and then finally I get frustrated. I jab the pencil in the milk carton, and I go like this, and it comes out with such force. It hits the back of my throat, and I'm already gagging and laughing at the same time, and almost kind of screaming. I can't even keep it in my mouth. It's coming out with such force. And then Brandon walked into the shot, and he was like looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Milk." He picks up the pencil and he jabs the other side, and we squeeze it. And biggest mess, silliest thing ever, and I love that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's
fun.
Awesome. So, how did you approach updating the show while keeping the heart and the humor?
Well, I think it's part of it is staying well on top of what is funny right now to preteens. Like Brandon said, Brandon has said many times that, humor changes. Like what is funny from generation to generation changes, but
Yeah.
even now, humor changes almost like month to month with the preteen audience and with elementary kids. So you kind of have to stay up on top of it. But also right now we've got a creative team that's made up of new people as well, and they are bringing in fresh ideas and they are bringing in new perspectives that are new. They're fresh.
Yeah.
So to not listen to what is working from people who have new ideas again would be us. Holding tight to what we think is funny. I think that's a great way to.
Some things are always funny, though.
That's true.
Like poop.
If you could describe the So&So Show 2.0 in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Animated.
Perspicacity.
Perspicacity. What is that?
Insightful.
Really?
You
It's
are
amazing.
kind of
I
like
just
a
learned a
walking
new word.
dictionary.
Yeah, you are a walking dictionary. Really. Let's see.
Fast.
Fast. Yes. A lot of fun, quick cuts.
Yeah.
I think more heart
Yeah.
in the end with Kellen. Yeah, I think Kellen's bringing a new kind of heart. Not that we had bad hearts. I'm not saying we had bad hearts. Don't look at me like that. We're still there too. But yeah, we're still there. Yeah.
Absolutely. You will be seeing so much more of them. They're not going anywhere. This is going to be the new home of the So&So Show 2.0. And speaking of heart, I just want to say thank you both. Thank you so much for paving the way. Thank you for being dedicated, authentic, skilled, excellent, and generous with your gifts and your skills and your love for God.